after arresting these men, which was only effected after a hard fight and after the Kid's ammunition had given out. Garrett took the men, heavily ironed, to Las Vegas. When it became known that Billy the Kid had been captured, a mob formed for the purpose of lynching him, but Garrett placed his prisoners in a box-car, over which himself and deputies stood guard until the train pulled out, which was nearly 2 hours. During that time the mob was furious to get at the men, but they well knew the temper of Sheriff Garrett, so they kept their distance. The men were tried and convicted. The Kid and Rubaugh were sentenced to be hanged, Rubaugh for having killed a jailer at Las Vegas in 1880. The judge, on passing sentence on the Kid, said, "You are sentenced to be hanged by the neck until you are dead, dead, dead." The Kid laughed in the judge's face, saying, "And you can go to hell, hell, hell." After the Kid had been sentenced, he was placed in jail at Las Vegas, ironed hand and foot, and under heavy guard, but never lost confidence, and was always looking for a chance to escape. When the day of his execution was not much more than a week off, the Kid saw his chance. While eating his supper, both handcuffs had been fastened to one wrist, so the Kid could better feed himself. He was only guarded by one deputy named Bell. The other deputy, Ollinger, had gone to supper across the street from the jail. Bell turned his head for a moment, and the Kid, noticing the movement, quick as a flash, brought the handcuffs down on Bell's head, stunning him. The Kid then snatched Bell's revolver and shot the deputy through the body. Bell staggered to the steps, down which he fell, and into the yard below, where he died. Ollinger, hearing the shot, rushed across the street. As he entered the jail yard, he looked up and saw the Kid at a window. As he did so, the Kid shot Ollinger dead with a shotgun which was loaded with buckshot. The Kid then broke the gun across the window-sill. Then, going to the room where the weapons were kept, the Kid picked out what guns he wanted and broke the balance. Then he made the first person he met break the irons from his legs and bring him a horse. The Kid then took 4 revolvers and 2 Winchester rifles and rode away. Sheriff Garrett was at White Oaks at the time, and as soon as he heard of the escape he hurried home and organized a posse to recapture the Kid, but the Kid was at liberty 2 months before he was finally rounded up and killed at Pete Maxwell's ranch. At the time the Kid escaped at Las Vegas, myself and a party of our boys had our horses at Menderhall and Hunter's livery stable, just a few doors from the jail, and I was standing on the street talking to a friend when the Kid rode by. From Las Vegas he went to the borders of Lincoln County, where his ever-ready revolver was always in evidence. Shortly after his escape he shot and killed William Matthews and a companion whom he met on the prairie without apparent cause, and several other murders were attributed to him before he was finally located at Maxwell's ranch and killed by Sheriff Garrett. The Kid was only 22 years of age when his wild career was ended by the bullet from the sheriff's gun, and it is safe to assert he had at least one murder to the credit of every year of his life. He was killed by Sheriff Garrett in a room of one of the old houses at Fort Sumner, known at that time as Maxwell's Ranch, July 12, 1881, about 2 months after his escape from the Lincoln County jail. Sheriff Pat A. Garrett, one of the nerviest men of that country of nervy men, and the only man who ever pursued the Kid and lived to tell the tale, is at present at the head of the Customs Service at El Paso, Texas, and to meet him and note his pleasant smile and kindly disposition, one would not believe him the man who sent Billy the Kid to his last account. But behind the pleasant twinkle in his eye and the warm hand clasp, there is a head as cool and a nerve as steady as ever held a .45. End of chapter 16.